Hello everyone! Welcome to our first day of Day Camp Crafts. Today in our bigger session, we learned about Jesus calling his disciples to follow him. And if you guys remember, we learned about God calling a couple of fishermen to follow him. And when he called them, he said, "Come follow me and I will make you fishers of men." So today, we're going to be making these really cool fishing rods out of some sticks that we find outside. And we're going to make little fishing lures as well that are often found in fly fishing. Now, when Jesus called us to follow him, being fishers of men means that we go out and we cast the gospel to as many people as we can and let him do the work to save as they hear the gospel being preached and proclaimed to them. So let's go into our craft making these fishing rods. The materials you'll need for this craft are some foam sheets, a pen, a fish template, which will be provided, some scissors, some Sharpie markers, magnets, black felt, some string, a big stick in a roughly fishing pole position, a hot glue gun and some extra glue sticks, fake feathers, mini pom-poms, and the smaller they are the better, pipe cleaners, googly eyes, which are optional but could make the fly fishing flies a lot more fun to look at, and some thin fishing wire. So for those at home, this material will be provided for you in your week packs. And for those who are just finding the videos later, you can easily find these supplies at a craft store or a dollar store. Or for the stick, you can probably find that from an old broken down tree in the woods or in your backyard. Before we make our fishing rod, we're going to make some fish. Now Jesus calls all different kinds of people to follow him. So our fish are going to be different colors and different designs, and though I've made a template for you guys to use, you can also make different types of fish. So the first thing you want to do is take your foam sheets, and I've already drawn the template on, but you're going to want to make 2 fish on 1 sheet so that we can glue the fish together.
I'm saying yes to you and no to my desires. I'll leave myself behind and follow you. I'll walk the narrow road, 'cause it leads me to you. I'll fall, but grace will pick me up again.
All right, now we have our 2 fish templates ready to go. So as I was cutting out the fish, I plugged in our hot glue gun. It's not quite hot enough yet, so if your glue gun's not hot enough yet, you can spend some time already decorating the fish to the way that you want them to look. So we're going to put the magnet probably somewhere around the front of the fish, and what's really fun is to put the eyeball around that place so that you know where the magnet is when you go to pick it up with your fishing rod. I thought I might walk you through to show you what I did. So I put the eye here, because again, that's where we're going to want to put our magnet. So I just made him look really tired. So instead of giving him a round eye like this, I put just put a straight line on the top, and that's how it makes him look tired. But if you want to make him look awake, you're probably going to want to make him have a nice round eye. And I gave him a bit of an eyebrow here. And so to do the scales, I wanted to give him like a nice clear face, so I started just behind his eye and did a couple just different kinds of half circles all the way up to his fin. And so I just keep repeating that, and it gives him a sort of scaly look, which is pretty cool once you get him all drawn in. And there are lots of ways that you can actually do the scales, and I'll show you those in a second with some of these other fish that I made. So this fish has different circles, and I did some scales out around the eyes because I didn't really want him to have too many like jiggity jaggedy scales like this. With this guy, I just did a couple scales so you know that it covers his whole body, but again, it wasn't as many lines as this orange fish was. And the same kind of goes with the fins. You can have different lines for their fins, like this one is all wiggly woggly, and these ones are pretty straight. On this guy, I gave him some straight fins, but they can look any way that you want them to.
I've counted up the cost. Oh, I've counted up the cost. Yes, I've counted up the cost, and you are worth it.
All right, well now our glue gun is probably warmed up, which you can tell because glue will start to come out of the little nozzle there. You don't want to touch the nozzle because it's very hot and it will burn you. So if you're not certain about using it, feel free to ask your parents to help you. Otherwise, just use it with care. So we're going to have some magnets, circular magnets, and you're going to want to take one of your magnets and put a bit of glue on either side. We're going to be gluing these into the fish. So I put a little dot of glue there. And it's important to rest your glue gun on a piece of paper or cardboard so that the glue doesn't get on the table. And before it dries, we're going to stick it on the back of your fish, about where the eyeball is. And then we're going to put a bit of glue around the edge of the fish and start lining up where you want your other side of the fish to land. So I find it's easier to do it in small segments of gluing the fish down, just to make sure that all the lines line up with each other. So I got the lips down, and now I'll put a bit of glue on the magnet to glue that down too. And you're just going to want to glue around the rest of your fish very carefully. And taking it small section at a time makes sure that the glue doesn't dry as you are gluing your fish down. And there is our fish. Now, I only made one fish for you today, but you can feel free to make as many fish as you want. If you run out of magnets, you can easily find those at a dollar store or a craft store. And if you run out of foam, you can either find those at a dollar store or craft store, or you can use paper or felt or any other kind of material that you think would be fun to make a fish out of. So next we're going to be making our fishing rod. And what we're going to start off doing is taking two magnets and gluing them together. So when you take your magnets, let them connect like that, and those are the points that you're going to glue together. And this will make sure that you can catch both sides of the fish. So just put a bit of glue there, and then glue those guys together. And now we're going to put the magnet aside and make the fishing rod. So we're going to want to get some string and start tying it into a place on the rod that you would like the bottom of your fishing line to be. And you're going to want to tie it quite tightly so that it doesn't slip or get loose. I like to wrap it around a little bit to make it have like more of a cool rugged look. And once you got that in a place that you like, you can pull the string up to the top of your rod and tie it up there as well. So when we get to the top, sometimes different sticks will have little branches poking out of it, or where the branches used to be. And if you can use those to secure your line, that's very helpful. So that's what I've done there. And I didn't actually knot it at all. So once you got that looped around, you'll have a piece of string that goes all the way down. And I'll move this off a bit so you can see the bottom here. Okay, goes all the way down like that, and that is your fishing line. So I'm just going to cut that there. and now we have our line. If you want, you can secure this top string with a bit of glue, and that'll help keep it in place a little bit better. So to connect these little magnets, you're just going to put a bit of glue on the top of them, and you're going to put the string, and be careful with this because the glue is quite hot, right into it there. You can put a bit of glue on top of that too to make sure it's nice and secure. So since this looks a little bit, I don't know, funny, just having the string stick out like that on the magnets, that's where you can cut a small circle out of black felt if you want to. So we can cover up the string and hide the way that looks beneath the black felt. And put a bit more glue on top there. And put the felt down. And then you have your fishing rod. Now we're going to make the fly fishing fly. And that's going to be our little lure that we put on the end of our fishing rod. So the first thing we're going to want to do is take our wire and shape it into a hook looking thing. If you look at a fishing rod, they often have, well, they always have a hook. And you want to be careful because wires can be sharp on their edges, and we don't want anybody getting hurt. So if you want, you can bend the hook over to make a little loop, so you make sure that you don't get hurt on the pokey end of the hook when you play with your fishing rod. And we don't want it too big, so we can bend that down, and you can either cut it to make it shorter, or you can loop the wire around the rest of the wire and make the wire shorter that way. It's a little bit big, but it'll do. So the next thing is take a color of pipe cleaner of your choice, any color you want. So I'm going to go with hot pink because it's very bright. Starting at the bottom, you wrap the pipe cleaner around a little bit, and then you twist it up the entire, and if you have extra, you can either again cut it off or you can loop it back down. And you can also loop a couple colors around the hook to make it a little bit thicker, depending on how you want your fly to look. So I'm also going to take bright green and make a zigzaggy look up here. So once you've got that down, you can also add some feathers onto it. And I like to stick the feathers at the top because it makes it look like little wings sticking out of its back. So you can take your glue gun, put a bit of glue down, and put the feather just on top and hold that down for a little bit till it's glued. And you can put as many feathers as you want on it. It can be a very featherful bug or it can be a very featherless bug. It's completely up to you. Okay, I think I'll go with 2 feathers on this one. And if you don't like the way the back looks, you can always take another pipe cleaner and wrap it around to cover up the back side of these feathers. So with the pom-poms, the place that I like to put it is just right at the top there. Again, get your glue gun, put a small little dab of glue, and get the pom-pom color of your choice and stick that on the top. And you can stick as many pom-poms up there as you want as well. I'm just going to put 1 for today because that's how I'd like my little bug to look. And with the googly eyes, I'm not really sure where the eyes would go on this, but if you want to stick eyes on it, you can just choose a place and put a couple eyes down. I'm going to put some glue on that. And maybe give him eyes over here. He's a weird looking fly. So now that you've got your fly done, the way that we attach it is again with a pipe cleaner. You might cover up a bit of your pattern so you can choose a similar color to wrap it around the string. So you want to attach it to the string near where this magnet is, and then you simply twist it around again so that you're capturing the string underneath the pipe cleaner. Fly fishing fishing rod. And there we have it, our very own fishing rod with our very own fish that we can send our rod out to catch. So when you guys see this and play with this in the coming weeks, remember what we learned today, that Jesus calls us to follow him. And when he calls us to be fishers of men, which means to go and to share the gospel with everybody around us. We don't know who he's calling to himself. We simply need to be faithful in speaking the message of Jesus to everyone we encounter and meet. So enjoy the rest of your days. We look forward to seeing you tomorrow in another crafting session.
I've conjured up the chords.